going on, guys? Chris here. I'm back with another episode of What's in My Stack. I've been listening to a lot of stuff I believe it's probably been close to 2 weeks since I last posted one of these. I'm basically listening to music all day, every day. I have a job where I have an earbud in all the time, so I'm always listening to something, and then when I get home, I'm just listening, and it's just a non-stop thing. It's a problem, really. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of different stuff on here. I've got something that will be included in a ranking that I'm gonna do, which I'll get into in a little bit. I'll be doing that probably within the next few days or so. And I'm kind of getting the feeling like the more of these I do, kind of like the first episode, I'm gonna highlight like a couple of things that may not be up most of your guys' alley, but just to throw it out there, that like I said, metal is my main source of music, but I mean, I listen to everything. Um, so let's see. So the first couple things I got that aren't necessarily metal related, the first one not metal related at all, and I'm not ashamed of it, is Sublime's 40 Ounces to Freedom. I don't need to explain Sublime to you. They've been on the radio since, the mid-90s. I'd say one thing that I could say about Sublime, that if you're not familiar with a lot of their stuff and you just know, the radio hits, is that not that they can get heavy on some of these albums, but they delve more into the punk, I mean, it's all reggae influence type stuff, but they pick it up on some of these songs. Like I said, I don't want to say they get heavy, because it's not heavy music. It's still Sublime, but there's moments on here where they get really fast, really aggressive. And I don't know, if you're open to all different kinds of music, I would check that out. Besides, like, the usual, like, Smoke Two Joints is on here. I could do without that song. It's a kind of a silly song. 40 Ounces to Freedom. Ball and Chain is a great song. Bad Fish, I love that song. Date Rape, I could do without that one too. It's kind of like a joke song as it is, but there's some good stuff on here, and there's some good stuff in Sublime's catalog. Like, it's coming from a guy that's got a Sublime tattoo on his back. I got that. If anything that I've learned from my experiences is that they should push back the tattoo age to, I believe, 21, because as soon as I turned 18, I believe, like, the week after, I went and got a couple things, and the Sublime Sun was one of them on my back. And I don't hate that one, but because I still love Sublime, but yeah, anyways. So the next thing I got on here is White Zombies. I don't know how you would say it's last, Sexorcito. Again, this is not, metal, I guess. I mean, it depends. You could probably say it is, or hard rock, however you want to, split hairs. But, yeah, it's just catchy, radio, hard rock type stuff. Again, same thing with Sublime. Like, one thing I've noticed when I dive into, like, radio heavy bands, or bands that were played heavily on the radio, and you take away some of the ones that you've heard, some of the songs you've heard a million times, and you listen to the rest, I mean, it's some pretty good stuff out there. Like, if you ever are turned off by a band just because you've heard them way too many times, like, the same, like, on this one, Thunder Kiss 65, Black Sunshine, like, I've all heard those songs a million times. But if you dig a little bit deeper in here, there's some good stuff. I'm not a gigantic fan of most of the rest of the catalog by either White Zombie or Rob Zombie. There's different portions of his career that I like. One thing is, I'm kind of I wouldn't say big, because music and the way something sounds is my number one, but I do like to pay attention to lyrics, and I do like to read lyrics, and that's one of the main reasons I buy CDs, is to read through the booklets and all that. Rob Zombie, in my opinion, I mean, I guess it depends if you are into lyrics. If you're not, he I shouldn't say puts no effort into them, because obviously there's effort involved and you gotta create catchy songs and all that. But I mean, if you read some of the lyrics and some of, or all of his songs, maybe there's like an exception in one or two of them across his career, but like the lyrics are just nonsense. Um, some, not necessarily in a bad way. Like, I'm not always, looking for some deep meaning to the music I'm listening to, but Rob Zombie, most of his lyrics are just like, obscure 1970s, 60s horror movie references. I don't have any clue what he's talking about. Um, but yeah, there's some pretty good stuff on here. I like the sound of it. It's recorded, was this 1992. So just kind of have that, it has that sound to it that just, not that it's mixed badly or that it's recorded badly, it just has that charm to it that a lot of those, late 80s, early 90s type stuff does. So next, what I have is, let's see, I'll do this first. A band that one of my friends I talked to, Austin, I should say pretty much the only friend I have that talks music with me, because his taste in music is as fucked as mine, is Soylent Green, Some Not Secrets. I did not know about this band until he sold me some stuff, and this was one of them, and I checked it out a while after. This is some gnarly stuff. This is like almost every subgenre of metal you could imagine, shoved into one album. I mean, there's elements of death and black metal on here. This thing gets like straight up just heavy as shit at times. There's some grind moments. There's some, it's sludgy as hell. Like I Hate God kind of stuff. I guess that's one band I could say that sounds, I don't want to say, similar, but, same idea. The vocals on here are insane. I forget the dude's name, the singer's name. I really should write some of this stuff down. But I remember when I was talking to him, my friend Austin, about this band, he had told me that it was the vocalist of a couple different other bands, and one of the bands I had enjoyed a lot, that I was very surprised to hear that it was the same vocalist. It was a band that I like a lot, and I don't know why I can't remember the name. I should do a little more work when it comes to these videos. I literally just turn the camera on, and I get my stack of CDs, and I just bring them to my chair. But anyways, yeah, Soylent Green. If you haven't heard of them, or if it's been a long time, because I believe this case came out a while ago, like a long time ago, late 90s, I think, 98. Yeah, this is really good stuff. Why can't I think of the band? Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. I'll put it in the description. Next, I got two albums by Faith No More. I have Fool for a Life, King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, and The Real Thing. This is a band that I liked as a kid. Just on the surface, I like them. And the older I've gotten, and now that I've gotten back into them, I'd say within the last year, I've really tried to listen to them a lot. I think kind of underappreciated. I don't think, not that I think music wouldn't be the same without Faith No More, but I'll tell you, this stuff is out there. Like, this stuff, especially The Real Thing. Like, again, I gotta say, like, if you just, step away from the few, radio hit type stuff, because I know a lot of you guys, it's not like accusing anybody, but like, I just know, and I get it. If you hear a song a million times on the radio or on TV or whatever it may be, that you just get sick of it, and I get that. But you take those aside, especially this album. This is where I would imagine, where they blew up. Every song on here is memorable, and every song has its own sound. I haven't spent as much time with this one right here. Listened to it a few times, and I liked what I heard. This is one of, probably my favorite album of theirs. I generally don't like covers too much. The cover of War Pigs is awesome, though. It just works. Yeah, I mean, Surprise You're Dead is great. I like, I think I could do without hearing Epic ever again. I love that song, but it's just like, how many times can I hear it? Um, The Real Thing is a great song. Zombie Eaters, Woodpecker from, I mean, every song on here is its own song, like a standalone song. Um, yeah, if it's been a while, again, if you haven't listened to Faith No More in a long time, I would, just throw them on, to remind you how good they were. I'm not a big fan of Mike Patton's other stuff. I find that a lot of his stuff, especially solo stuff, is just way too out there for me. But then again, it's been a while, so I don't know. Maybe, it's worth checking out again, some of his stuff. But I found that outside of Faith No More, I didn't enjoy a ton of his stuff. Alright, the next one I have on here, and I'm going to butcher this title. Dark Woods, My betrothed. I have no idea how to say this. I don't know what it is with black metal bands and having to be like as inaccessible as possible, not only when it comes to music, obviously, because if you're listening to this then you're into extreme shit, but like the album titles and band titles are just like so out there. But anyways, this is Angel of Carnage Unleashed. This stuff is awesome. This is really good stuff. I believe this came out last year, but I just got it a few weeks ago. It's just got that old, Norwegian black metal type sound with a little bit of, I don't want to say the word symphonic because I don't want you to think like, there's like a orchestra or, friggin' synthesizers or whatever all over this thing, but there's just like a sprinkling, like Salt Bay, there's like a little sprinkling of that in here. I haven't spent enough time with it yet to really get into it too much, but what I have heard from this, I've listened to it probably like 3 or 4 times so far. It's so good. There's so many good, and I guess what I was gonna say was there's just so many good modern day black metal and death metal bands. Like this is like, I feel like a golden era, obviously not like as special as I'm sure the 90s were, but there's so much stuff out there right now, and there's almost too much. It's almost like every single day there's some killer release, so it's hard to keep track of, and you feel silly for missing certain things. But I was going to say was, I believe they've been around for a long time. I believe when I looked the band up, because this was the first I'd heard of them, that they've been around since the 90s. I could be wrong about that, but and one thing I will say, whenever I show black metal in here, with the exception of a few bands that I know of that I don't really listen to, or whatever, and it's a whole nother topic, I don't know their political beliefs or anything like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think, from the little I've read, that they're like pieces of shit like some black metal bands are, is when it comes to politics. So I'm showing this not knowing, but if someone does know, and I hate like having to put that like thing out there, but there's so many sketchy bands out there, and some people don't share the same opinion when it comes to separating art from artists. That could be its own video at some point for me. I think I have a unique perspective on that and how I feel, but I don't want to get into that now. But if there's something wrong with this band, I would love to know, like, if, just so I know, because I don't want to talk it up if they're, shitty people. The next thing I got on here is the new Archgoat album. It's Archgoat. What do you want me to say? They, killer music, very heavy. The hell's the name of it? All Christianity Ends. They're kind of like on that side of just like every single song has to be like anti-Christian, anti-God, and we get it. You hate God. That's fine. I like the music. Got nothing against God. I like the music though. Let's see. Next I got on here Fetid. I don't know how to say it properly. Steeping Corporeal Mess, whatever that means, I don't know. I just know it means good music when I listen to it. This stuff is disgusting. This stuff is nasty. The vocals on this thing are just like not even human. They're so guttural. So they almost sound like whispered, not whispered vocals. I don't know. They're so low that sometimes you could barely even hear them. It's like kind of mixed in with the guitars and the drums, but I don't even mean that in a bad way. Not that they're like getting buried. They're just so guttural. They're just like they're. I love them. I feel like a lot of bands are doing that style right now. Me personally, I can't get enough of it. It's my kind of my go-to when it comes to death metal, especially modern day death metal. Like I said, like Tomb Mold is one of my favorite modern bands. There's a lot of bands that are doing this type of sound and they're going for the real guttural style vocals. Only 5 songs on here. They're kind of long-ish, but it's really good. It's a $20 spin release, which, in my opinion, if not my favorite, $20 spin is probably my top 3 or so favorite labels going today. They put out unbelievable stuff. I feel like I could blind buy a $20 spin album and have a lot of confidence that I'll not only like it, but really enjoy it. All right. So I got 2 more things. The second to last thing I got needs no introduction. It's Autopsy's Mental Funeral. This stuff is you can see where my taste in death metal kind of lies. This has got such a unique sound to it. The guitars are like they're not. I mean, maybe they're down tuned to. Listen, I don't know like all the technical terms. So like if I say like something is if I try to talk about rhythms or time signatures or friggin' guitar tones, I don't know the technical terms. Okay, I just know and I probably should learn some of that. I'm kind of put off by when I hear a lot of people talking about that stuff, and I just feel like it's kind of like know-it-all-y. Not to throw shade at anybody, and whatever, but I don't know. It's just a weird thing where it's like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like too technical. Like I just want to be like, talk to people who, because sometimes I read reviews and I don't know what, like they're explaining how the sound is, and it's like I don't even know what that means. So I kind of just want to present this as like, just in layman's terms, like what some of the stuff is like to me. So anyways, the guitar to me, I don't know if it's down tuned or what. It doesn't sound like it's as down tuned as other, death metal from this era. It's just got a unique sound. It's not, I don't know, it's very doomy. It's very, I guess gets like borderline funeral dooms metal kind of slow. And then it picks up in other spots. It's very unique. They're one of my favorite old school death metal bands. But yeah, the guitars are almost like usually like to me like the thing that's right up front in most death metal albums. And in this one, it's like kind of pushed back a little bit. It's not as it's just such a unique sound. I don't even know how to explain it. I think the cover is very fitting for what this album sounds like. Trying to get it without the glare. Jesus. All right, whatever. That was a fail. But yeah, this stuff is nasty. But I feel like I don't need to really explain what this is to you because it's pretty straightforward. And the last thing that's going to be related to my next ranking. It's not going to be the type of ranking that you will think. Is Pantera's Great Southern Trendkill. This to me by far is their heaviest album. This thing is like came out in an era where I'm sure they were on top of the world. I don't know how well this album sold. I believe it sold very well. This thing is a kick in the nuts. This thing, I mean, the song's gonna drag the waters. I mean, it's so heavy. Sandblasted Skin is just nuts. Floods is a great song. The title track is great. This thing is freaking heavy, and fast and aggressive, and it's not as groove oriented as some of their earlier stuff was. But why I'm digging into their catalog is I'm not gonna do a Pantera album ranking. I'm gonna do something different because I feel like a million people have done that. I'm going to be ranking all the different solo projects of Phil Anselmo. He's got so many cool bands, each with their own unique sound. He's got his own solo stuff. My personal favorite, which is Scour. But I mean, Pantera, I've listened to Pantera forever. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of take all of his stuff and see if I can rank that. He's put out so much good stuff that it's gonna take me a little bit. That'll probably be coming out in a few days. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to, and a few other things as well, but that's like been mainly what I've been listening to. I'll probably have another one of these up probably within a few days of the ranking coming out, because I've just been listening to a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. It's been a while since I posted. I just been, back at work after COVID. I'm all fine now, and just been really busy, so I just haven't been able to get on camera, luckily for you. So yeah, so that's what I've been listening to. That's what's in my stack this week. Let me know what you guys have been listening to, what you think of what I got, and be on the lookout for my next video. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Bye.